Tell us what you're seeing in terms of demand. How much has it picked up? Is it for the immediate months or going more into the winter into next year? And is there a sort of regional tilt where in North America the pickup in demand is coming most of all from?
We've really seen demand pick up across our network between the U.S. mainland and Hawaii, and we're really back to a more normalized level of demand. Booking started to pick up in January and accelerated through the first quarter, and that's continued through to today. We carried more passengers yesterday than we have at any day since the pandemic began affecting us last March. So things are really moving on the domestic side, and the bookings are now resembling the normal booking curve of people planning their trips further out. So a lot more consumer confidence with vaccinations continuing to move forward.
How easy is it for you to meet this pickup, both in terms of planes but also staff?
Yeah, our planes are ready to go. We've got no shortage of that. We've got a couple of our small planes that we use for the neighbor islands still in short-term storage, but that is not curtailing what we can fly today. In terms of staff, we're in good shape for most of the operation. We do have some staffing needs in our airport organization, and we're working to address those and make sure we've got people on staff to be able to serve our guests. And we're looking forward to it's a much different problem than we had a year ago at this time in terms of figuring out how we handle the increasing demand as opposed to shrinking our operations. So we'll take these problems.
What about international travel? How big of a chunk of your business is it? I know the U.S. just put a stronger warning, for instance, on Japan, and that is a huge source of tourism demand for Hawaii. So how much is that hurting, and do you see anything changing there?
That's the biggest missing piece for us right now is international travel demand. And, being Pacific-oriented, Japan is the largest international source of visitors for Hawaii, and it's the biggest part of our international network, which was about 25% of our revenue before the pandemic. International is still down 95% range in terms of traffic numbers. It has to do with the restrictions in those markets. And unfortunately, Japan and Korea, Australia, New Zealand, which are the important markets for us, are still well behind where the United States is in vaccinations. And we think it'll be a number of months yet before we really see demand accelerate. But I'm encouraged with the pace of U.S. demand when conditions improved and vaccinations spread. And I think we could see a similar surge in international travel when things begin to open up.
Are you in any way fearful, Peter, that this pickup in demand on the U.S. side is going to be a one-off? It's a sort of splurge as people unleash, having been cooped up for a year, but it could drop off quite quickly into next year?
That's not what I'm expecting at this point, at least, in our business that is very leisure-oriented. I think, we've seen a steady grind of leisure demand increasing over time. And I expect that, this is just a return to the long-term trend of strong demand. So I'm not concerned, as I've heard some carriers talk about a fall off in the fall, but I think other carriers, pivot in the fall to more of a business-oriented travel. And that's really not the makeup of our customer base. So I'm expecting things to continue to be strong as we go forward.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.